bright and shining through one of the upstairs windows at just the right angle. Maybe there was a car outside, headlights cutting through the darkness, but I knew none of those explanations made sense. The light didn't flicker or move the way moonlight through trees would. It was steady, constant, and it seemed to be coming from the dining room at the end of the hall. I could see shadows moving within it. Though that might have been my imagination, my mouth had gone dry, and I realized I was gripping the edge of my sleeping bag hard enough that my knuckles had turned white. Every instinct I had screamed at me to stay where I was, to lie back down, close my eyes, and wait for morning. But another part of me, the part that had always needed to understand things, needed to know what was creating that light. I told myself I was being ridiculous, that it was probably something completely mundane that I'd laugh about in the morning. I swung my legs out of the sleeping bag and placed my feet on the cold floor. The wood was ice beneath my bare soles, much colder than it should have been. I stood up slowly, wearing only boxer shorts and a t-shirt, and approached the door. The light beneath it seemed to pulse slightly, like a heartbeat. Though again, that might have been my perception playing tricks on me. My hand shook as I reached for the doorknob. The metal was so cold it almost burned my palm. I turned it slowly, wincing at the soft click of the latch, and pulled the door open just a crack. The hallway was empty, but the light was definitely coming from the dining room. I could see it more clearly now. That strange blue-white radiance that seemed to exist independent of any light source I could identify. It painted the hallway walls in shades of frost and shadow, creating an environment that felt alien in a house I'd been living in for days. I stepped into the hallway. The floor was even colder here, almost painfully so, and I could see my breath misting in the air. That wasn't normal. It was October, sure, but Oregon wasn't that cold, and the house had central heating that I'd left running. The temperature had to have dropped 30 degrees in the last few hours, but that was impossible. I moved down the hallway toward the dining room, each footstep silent on the old floorboards that usually creaked at the slightest weight. The silence itself was wrong. I should have been able to hear the normal sounds of the house, the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen, the clicking of the heating system, something. Instead, there was nothing. An absence of sound so complete it felt like pressure against my eardrums. The dining room doorway was